Hello, everybody. Geli Asafsky here. Welcome to our weekly live Q&A. Ask me anything. Pick my social work brain. You've got me for a half hour here to support you as a parent. I'm in my office, back in my office. Yay, it is so amazing. So, all right, as people start coming on live, I'll just do my introduction, which is what I do every week when I do my live. So I am Geli Asafsky. I'm a child and family therapist now for 20 years, 21 as a matter of fact. June. That's been a long time. Wow. So I started my internship, which was actually doing social work practice without knowing what I was doing. It was training, literally, going into the fire in 2000. And I graduated in 2002. And I worked for 18 years at a clinic locally in my neighborhood in New York. And then about 11, 12 years ago, I started my private practice, and then I worked part-time in my private practice. I worked part-time in the clinic, and then over time I did less and less in the clinic, and then I'm in private practice for a few years now. And it's just wonderful. It's just wonderful being able to support moms and kids and to have a lifestyle that I want and be a grandmother, hands-on grandmother now that my daughter has children. Very exciting. Okay, so, all right, as you come on, say hi if you'd like to, send me some hearts, I love those, and if you're watching this as a replay, you can put hashtag replay. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. So my focus has always been on children and families. That's my thing, and I am a registered play therapy supervisor, and I am an EMDR consultant, so I work with a lot of trauma. And what I love most about the past few years is that I've been supervising therapists to make a difference in how they practice and how they help kids. So I feel like it's just such a wonderful place to be in. Okay. So also my website is parentingwithgeli.com. Feel free to check that out. I am on Instagram and I am on Facebook. I actually have a Facebook group called Parenting with Geli. What else? And launching my parenting course online. My offline parenting course is now going online. We have a dedicated Facebook group for those who are in my course, and I do specific weekly live Q&As to support those who are taking my course. So if you'd like more information about that, you can comment below. You can DM me. We can connect and see how I can be of help. All right. So let's take a sip of water and get started. I am going to do just a little 2-minute presentation on, we just wrapped up our spring parenting course, and on Monday we did our last class, which is all about creating a mission statement for your family. And it was just amazing being able to discuss the fact that nobody would start a business without knowing what they're doing, before you're going to plunk down money, you want to know what you're doing. You don't want to put all the money down the drain, all the work down the drain. Now, when it comes to parenting, to mothering, some of us have good role modeling, many of us don't. How many of us take a parenting course before we get pregnant and have a baby? Many people I know do take the Lamaze or different classes before they give birth, right? So we make the birth experience easier, more pleasant, and it's good for us, right? So the idea of going into mothering without a mission statement, without putting down the money, so to speak, taking the time to orient yourself to what you want as a mother. Why are you doing this? What is your plan? How are you doing this? And how do I deal with challenges as a mother? That's so critical and so important. So I want to encourage every single person who watches this, hi there, to really focus on why. Why am I doing this, and to create a plan. Obviously, in my course, I go into way more detail on this, and we figure it out together to crystallize a plan to make our parenting, our mothering, what we really want it to be. So that is my shout out for today, ladies. Please think about why, your why as a mother, and think about your what you want as a mother. Okay, so let's get started. I always come prepared with some questions from my weekly Q&As in my courses, because sometimes people are a little shy to write their questions in the comments. So I always have something in the back, but let's throw it out there. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. Say hi. If you're watching this as a replay later on, you can always do #replay and put your questions in there. I do see them, or you can DM me, and I am responsive with my messaging. Okay, so maybe I'll get started with a question, and you can think if you have a question. So one of the things that came up this week, I actually did a video about it, trying to figure out where, was it on my Facebook page or here, about why do non-tech play? Like, what is so bad about giving your children a little technology? You want them to be quiet, so you give them your phone to watch a little video. You give your kid yes, thank you. It is so important, this idea about technology. So what is the big deal? I mean, tell me, are you like me now that I'm around more? You go into the mall and you see these little kids in strollers watching something on the phone. Okay, you see the kid at the doctor's appointment, they're holding a mini tablet. You're going into someone's house, and that they're at the Xbox or with the Game Boy. Or like my sister says, the whole block a couple of years ago was standing, 30 kids were standing over one child who bought their Game Boy at. They were no longer playing jump rope. They were no longer running around in the street, riding their bikes. They're all looking at this one screen. And she said she had to do something about it. She called the mother, and she said, look, I really respect that your kid has a Game Boy, but 30 kids just shouldn't be looking at one kid's Game Boy. So we're starting this new project. All the neighbors got together, and they made a rotation in the afternoon of parents who popped popcorn, parents who made peanut chews, parents who did arts and crafts. And after a couple of weeks, this kid was joining all the activities too, and the Game Boy just got relegated to something that she does in the house. So they approached it very wisely, and the kids went back to being kids. So let's talk for a second. Does anyone want to know here, what is the research? Why is this not good for our kids? Why shouldn't we just get them out of our hair, so to speak, and park them away for a little bit so we can get our work done? Let me give you, yes, love those hearts. So let me give you a couple of pieces here. First of all, the technology is developed to get an instant reaction, instant gratification. So there's a real dopamine hit. I hope I said the right chemical here. It goes to your brain, and it gives you that feel-good factor. And it's like, I want more of this. Please give me more. And so you do it again, and you get another dopamine hit. I actually, when I was doing telehealth with kids, I could see that they had the screens underneath on their tablets, and they were like, 1 minute. I'm like, what are you doing? And the mother's like, put away that screen. You can play on the screen later. Now you're with Kelly. Now's your appointment. And I was like, Ivy. With some of these kids, we had a barter that after we talked for 15 minutes, they could get 5 minutes on their game. And then whatever game they were playing, I tried to make it into a therapeutic activity because it was such a big deal. So it's the technology is designed to engage the kids. Let me tell you something. As a mother, when you are telling your kid to sit by the table and wait for a few minutes for supper, they need to wait. They need to have frustration tolerance, right? When a kid is sitting in school, whether it's on Zoom or in a regular classroom, everyone needs to work quietly on their math problems, on their spelling problems. As you get older, the teacher drones on and on. Who can relate? I know it's a long time ago for me. As I'm approaching 50, my birthday's coming up. Not yet 50, but close enough. That was a long time ago, but who can remember this? It's going like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Now I feel so bad for the kids, right? But you have to learn to pay attention. You have to learn how to focus. You have to learn how to connect with the person that's talking to you. That skill gets evaporated completely when because kids learn from the technology. Boom, 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 boom. Instant reinforcement. You never need to wait. If you get out, you can always try again. You can always get to the next level. You can always buy a little more, and the game goes deeper and deeper and deeper into Fantasyville. So what happens is it really creates a problem with impulse control in real life. It creates angry children when you tell them you can't be on the screen, you can't play on your Game Boy, you can't do Xbox, you can't watch what you're watching now, you actually need to be present. It really causes those kind of problems. So that's the research across the age. And online, I'm seeing questions like, at what age could I give my baby a game to play? At what age could my baby watch a show? And I'm like, why would you want to give somebody who's not asking for something, for a technological device, why would you want to give it to them? This is the time when your children's brains are growing. It's their cognitive development. It's their emotional development. It's their physical development. What am I missing? It's their intellectual development, right? So that's the other piece. When it comes to non-tech play, parents are like, well, what should I play with my kids, right? So there are all these cute little games that you can play with them that don't require toys. I teach a lot about that. Tons and tons and tons of these games that are non-tech in nature and don't need anything in my course. But think about a playroom. You have the dollhouse, you have the doll furniture. As a play therapist, we're taught, if we possibly can, to get wooden things because that's earth. That's what's best for kids. We give them the kitchen center, the make-believe pots and pans. We give them the make-believe food. If we can give them real food, then that's great too, right? But we want to give them sand. We want to give them little figures, soldiers, animals, clay dough, board games as they get a little older, little fidgety thingies, right? There's always something, the flavor of the month. Things that kids can play with their hands, Legos, magnetiles, all these kind of things, right? We want our kids to use their intelligence, to use their emotional development. We want them to learn and practice their physical strength and to build connections in their brain. And I always say Gary L. Landreth, who's one of the founding fathers of play therapy, he said, birds fly, fish swim, and children play. That is, by design, the work of a child. This is where they learn everything they will need to know, literally, as a child. Does this make sense? Send me a heart, smiley, if you relate to this, if this feels right with you. Do you have any questions about the ins and outs of the nitty-gritties of non-tech play and what we really should be doing as a parent? Let me see there. Any tips on giving kids sensory things like sand, etc., but that they learn to keep it organized while enjoying it and exploring it? Yes. So in my office, I do have sand. I do have rules without hindering their freedom. Right. So sand, I believe, is best done outside. If you can get a sand table or a sand box that you can cover. Sorry about that. I got a call that always breaks up the live. If you can give your kids little, just shovels, sand, little cars, things you won't mind getting ruined with the sand. Everything in my house is, it's not expensive in my office. It's well used. little kitties, you can even go to the dollar store and get some soldiers, some animals, things that you don't mind throwing out at the end of the summer that easily replaced. So a sand table or a sandbox outside is great. In the house, people really like more the kinetic sand. It's not the same thing, but it doesn't create a mess. Other people, what they say is they put a disposable plastic on the table, and then they have it like in a big bucket, in those under the bed kind of buckets. They'll have the sand with a container and a couple of boxes that could be played with it. But get it on the porch, in the garage, and outside in the summer. That's what I would recommend. I literally stand, in my play therapy office, I stand right near the kids, and there are rules. We do the cleanup. If we put in a lot of water, we'll spill out the water when it's done. There's so much science to the art, actually, of sand tray therapy, and everything a kid does means something. So we want to give the kids the opportunity to play with water and sand, to play with the figures, to build stories, but take care of your mental health first as a parent. It's really, really critical, because otherwise we're going to lose it with our kids, and we don't want to do that, right? So I think the summer's a great way to do this. And by the way, I always say, don't think you have to buy the most expensive of everything. I actually found a garage sale in a preschool that was liquidating. They put an ad in the paper, and there were so many things there. I didn't know where to put my eyes first. And I was like, I don't just need random things. And then I spotted a sand table and a water table, and they were selling it for $5, something that would literally be expensive. So I hauled it home in 3 pieces, and now I'm getting sand. And we're going to fill it up, and the kids can put water in it. They can put toys in it. I'm going to get like $10, $15 worth of little figures so the kids can just have fun in the summer and play. So, and then we have the water table right nearby. So going to create a little oasis for the kids to have fun with non-tech play. When they're done riding their bikes, and they're done playing with the water, they can play with the sand, then we can have the barbecues. Oh, I am so looking forward. Now that we can finally all get together, right? Okay, so that was actually a great question. Thank you so much. Okay, does anybody have any other question or want some clarification around the topic of non-tech play? That's what I'm all about. It's literally what people come and they'll say, 1 minute, well, what is play therapy? And I'm like, play therapy is the kid plays with the toys. My education is how to interpret it and how to help them. And I'm like, so what am I supposed to do? And I'm like, well, you could play with your kids. Because I'm very oriented in terms of family systems work. So I want the child to connect and bond with the mother. Whatever healing needs to take place, I want it to take place in the context of the relationship they have with their mother. So I love when children play together. And sometimes that's all they need. They need a few sessions to just play together, and discipline issues fall to the wayside. So it's a real thing for parents to know. When you play with your kids, so many things get better. If we get off the phone near the kids, they'll also think about it less. Yes, 100%. It's hard to say, and my kids are older, and when they were younger, it was the cordless that was the issue. Dating myself, right? Get off the phone when your kids come home, right? Make the time for them. Now we have our cell phones, we have our texts, we have our WhatsApps, we have our social media. How many parents say they're addicted to Instagram? And I'm like, 1 minute, Instagram is cool, but your kids are real things, real people, and when they're around, you need to focus on them, not on Instagram. And here we are, right? By the way, that's one of the reasons I do my lives during the morning. I know not everybody can be on during the morning, but most kids are in school during the morning. And then we parents can make a choice. So, yeah. All right. So another question that came through this week that I thought was relevant for pretty much everybody is the idea about anger management. Anger management with kids. How do we redirect our kids when we see them starting to flare up? What would you say, Gelly, is playful disciplining? Can anybody relate here? The idea of like, what do we do when our kids, we could see it. We can see the eruption is about to take place. Let's be real. Kids do get angry. Kids do get frustrated. And many kids, as they get older, don't develop the tools, and we don't know what tools to give them, right? So, my favorite, by the way, is bibliotherapy. I'm a big fan of this. I have posted it a while ago. This is a great book. I mention it a lot. It's called The Angry Octopus. And it's a book where a sea child teaches an angry octopus how to do progressive muscle relaxation. I really highly recommend this. There's another great book. I should pick up my phone and walk to my bookshelf to get the right name of the book. Give me 1 second. You're going to see the screen move. This is my office. And hold on. Where is it? It's something about my mouth is a volcano. I want to get the right... what is the right name of the book? Give me a second. Well, there's this one. Look, we find new things as we're looking along. So this one is The Grouchies. I absolutely love the book The Grouchies. It's written by Debbie Wagenbach. And it is fantastic. It's a story about a kid and the Grouchies. And it is an extreme story, but we all have the Grouchies sometimes in the morning. All of us. Here's the book I'm looking for. My Mouth is a Volcano by Julia Cook. I'm going to post these as pictures, but I just want to say that these are great options for kids who are flaring up with a little anger or a lot of anger. And I love it because kids really relate to this. All right, putting down the phone again. I just got the iPhone 12. Yeah, the iPhone 12 Pro, and it's so much heavier than my iPhone 8. I was so reluctant to update. The time did come, though, so I'm like putting it down to save my hands. Want to know why? You really want to know why? One of my AirPods dropped into a pot of boiling water. Now, isn't that funny? And the other AirPod just got lost. So much for expensive AirPods, but this phone is very, very heavy coming from the older versions. So, again, My Mouth is a Volcano. Just showing you the book if you on Amazon. And The Grouchies, love both of these books. Love it, love it, love it. So these are some good options. Sorry. When your kid is starting to get angry, really, really helps. Do some kids have more outbursts than others? Absolutely. When it comes to anger and outbursts, there is that whole debate over nature versus nurture. Some kids are generally born a little more high-strung. Other kids are born more timid, more shy, and these are the realities. Now, some kids are in a situation, whether it's bullying, whether it's a home situation, where they get ticked off a lot more quicker, or there's something actually happening in their lives, whether it's trauma or something else, and it can really lead to anger. We're in big trouble. If they do get ticked off quicker, how do you help them not blow up? So one of the things that's really proven with research is to start teaching our children mindfulness. Lots of great questions here today. And mindfulness can just be teaching them how to take deep breaths. When they're very young, sometimes it just helps to use like blowing bubbles, and blow out the bubbles. That works. And you can tell them to let out the stuff that's bothering them. Little kids, or even up to age 10, I found like balloons, and you can blow in all the stuff that bothers you, and then you can pop the balloon. Bibliotherapy is my preferred way of dealing with an issue if you're working just around it. And if a kid is old enough, just having a conversation with them and saying, I see you tend to get really upset, really quickly. Is there something that's going on? Can we work together on finding a tool? I love the book. This is a workbook, What to Do When Your Temper Flares. Yes, What to Do When Your Temper Flares by Dawn Hubner, Heubner, I think. Easily available from Amazon. I would say it's like 6 therapy sessions. So it's a real resource for parents and kids if you're not ready to go to therapy. And then if you can do it on your own, gesundheit. So I'm so happy to give these tools and techniques because, like I said before, most problems can really be solved within the framework of the mother-parent relationship. So this is really what you want to look at. You want to see if you can have some tools to help your child. Okay, do you guys want me to write these resources in the comments? Let me see if I can do it without disappearing here. Just going to write the name of the book. The Grouchies by Debbie Wagenbach. All right, that'll go on there. And then My Mouth is a Volcano by two favorite books. Julia Cook and which one? Oh, we wrote The Angry Octopus, right? We did that. There's quite a few book resources in this live today. That's great. I'm so happy to offer that. And then I'll just share the workbook. What to do when your temper flares by Dawn Hubner. I don't remember the author of The Angry Octopus, but it is easily available. Okay, so I have time for one more question before I get off my break and go back to work. So any questions that you guys have about anything related to parenting, kids? If not, I will just, let me talk for a couple of minutes about, yes, thank you. I'm so happy. Let me know, by the way, DM me and let me know if any of these resources work. I'm always so curious. When you give a parent a recommendation on social media, how does it pan out? So I hope one of these is going to be amazing for your child. Okay. So many of you have seen me really promote my parenting telecourse for Jewish moms. So we had such a huge group of mothers. It was insane, amazing. And I have decided to take my course online and I'm actually starting to film as we speak. And I opened up my Facebook group, Gelly's Parenting Lab. That's for folks who are taking my paid courses. And if you'd like any information about this parenting course, please DM me, comment below, and I'll be happy to set something up. We can talk and I can see how to support you. My whole thing is about helping parents become more playful parents, more connected parents, more nurturing parents, because we want to raise resilient, happy kids. In this turbulent world that we live in, whatever your religion is, whatever your affiliation is, what connects us all is as moms, as mothers. And some of us have good role modeling from our parents, and some of us really don't, and we're actually not sure what we're doing. And so that's the motivation I have to do all this work to get it out there, support you guys. We'll have this special Facebook group, special live Q&A where I'm just going to offer a lot more support, and the learning the course will be divided into literal 8-minute video segments, 10-minute video segments. So whenever you have 10 minutes, you can pop on a video and learn a skill that can help you be a parent. And as you probably have seen from here, I am super practical. So everything, that's my middle name, and I really like to just cut to the chase. What you can do to make a difference in your life as a mother right here, right now. That's my thing. So definitely connect with me if that's something you're looking for. And I also have this resource in my link tree. It's called 5 simple things you can to entertain your kids without tech. So I have written out like on 5 topics, many different things that you can do to support your kids, to support yourself in doing non-tech play, to just connect with your kids. So check that out. You can download it and enjoy the free resources. Okay. All right. Have an amazing day, everybody. I will be back on next week, 11:30 on Wednesday, live. Come with your questions and get answers. Pick my social work brain. I am so happy to give back to the online community here on Instagram and help you guys with some things that are just, I've been doing this for so long. It may feel very natural and easy for me, but boy, do I know when I was a parent of little kids, I would have done anything to have these resources. So I go back to the younger me. Now that I'm a grandmother, I can really reflect back on like a simple tip would have made such a difference. So that's why I'm here on Instagram, on Facebook, and thank you. And that's why I'm doing this. So here's to a great day. I got to get back to work, and I will see you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.